Hey,
Oh,
I'm
come
Lo.
on, let's shake a leg. Well, I mean, you shake a leg.
Thanks, Mort. Thanks for interrupting my intro. Hey, I'm Lo, and welcome back to Planescape
What's the
Torment.
hold-up?
Yeah, all right, jeez. Oh, man, right. Well, when last we left
Done.
the Nameless One, we were going to speak to Dakon and Kandrian and Ebb Creek Knees. Who should we speak with first? I think Ebb Creek Knees is going to have the most to say. So under the, like, maybe assumption is the wrong word, but like, under the threat of him speaking for an entire hour, let's speak with him first. Oh my goodness me. Ebb Creek Knees, okay. You see a slightly stooped old man with a full grey beard and a lion's mane of grey hair. He wears a couple of shoulder guards as armor, and he keeps a helmet nearby. He smokes a pipe and carries a pouch of tobacco around his waist. He looks pretty strong, but he's a little plump and also appears to have some sort of breathing trouble. Okay, how's he gonna talk? Well now, aren't you a sight, lad? Never have I seen so many scars blanketing a fella, like a scar cloak you're wearing. Where you been, hanging out in a grain thresher? Oh, I'm just jesting with you, lad. No offense meant, and I hope no offense taken. I'm Ebb. He extends his hand. Greetings, Ebb. His handshake is firm. Now, I hereby tender my apologies for the unfair jesting, lad. Hope no hard feelings. Can I buy you a tankard or two of something to smooth any ruffled feathers? Sure, why not? I mean, I don't think you really said anything offensive, but sure, I'll have a free drink. That's the spirit, lad. Bide a moment. He raises to his feet and heads to the bar. After a moment, he returns to his seat with a pair of tankards. Here you go, lad. Drink up. If this is the voice I'm going to give him, let me just have a little swig of water. I should have done this before I started recording. Okay. He takes a massive swallow from his own tankard. Ah, see, that was in character. Yeah, definitely. Puffs on his pipe and says, "What can old Ebb do for you on this fine sigil day?" I had some questions about this place. Oh, well, I gathered that. Just to look at you. What? Just to look at you? I gathered that... Is that a spelling error, just looking at you? I don't know. Like, jest means joke, right? I don't know. I'll just read it straight. Oh, well, I gathered that just to look at you. I mean, you don't look like you're from around these parts, lad. You look a little too out of sorts to be a seasoned native. Ebb chuckles. So, what can I help you with, lad? You need to know the lay of the land? He winks. Who are you? Ebb Creek Knees, third measure of the harmonium, now retired and being a tout with one's voice, since I don't step as lightly as I might these past 2 or 3 decades. Now, lad, who be you, and what trouble might you be in? Third measure of the harmonium? Ebb puffs up slightly in pride and gets a semi-stern look on his face. Aye, third measure of the harmonium. He relaxes a little. Though I haven't served a tour of duty in many a decade, pushing a quill wasn't quite up my alley after all the fights and skirmishes I've been in, so I just bide my time, keeping tabs on things down here in the hive and helping out a little where I can. And you look like someone who might need a hand. Are you in some kind of trouble, lad? What fights and skirmishes have you been in? I'm just going to avoid all of his questions. I don't know, maybe? I don't know, maybe that seems rude. I'm just concerned I might not be able to come back to ask these same questions again. Let's be honest, right? Like, I feel like he's actually... I feel like this guy might be a useful ally. I don't know, I got a good vibe from him. A few troubles. I woke up in the mortuary and seem to have forgotten who I am. Eh? Ebb blinks, then frowns. What was that you said, lad? You woke up in the mortuary? Ebb studies you closely. I feel like my voice that I'm giving him is like shifting slightly. It's like it's turning into more of like a like an old prospector. Yeehaw! Let's see if I can center it again. It was more piratey, right? A little more northern. Oh, now, did they mistake you for dead under all them scars, mayhap? Can't say I would have been any smarter. Them's dusties. He catches himself. I mean them dustmen. Dusties being a rude term to refer to them pale-faced fellas, and I don't mean them too much disrespect. They have all the perceptions and friendliness of a gravestone sometimes, eh? Can't say I couldn't see them screwing that up. No, lad. That's what I've heard. I had some other questions. Aye, lad, what do you want to know? Okay, let's ask him who he is again. Ebb Creeknees, yeah. What's a tout? Well, now, it's a good thing you asked that, 'cause now you've told me that you're green, a tout is about the best person a Clueless could have run into on the streets of Sigil. And I'm just the man... Oh, I think it's an accent thing. Jest instead of just. Yeah. I'm just the man someone like you is in need of. He takes a drink. A tout's a friendly city guide. Shows you what's what. Gives you a little jaunt around town. A guide. Aye, a guide is the best way to look at it. Except I don't really leave this chair on account of my age. So mostly I suggest directions and places you might want to see in your travels in our fair city. Don't cost you a cent. Why is it free? A tout who can't move can't command much of a price, laddie. By the powers, 'twould be unfair to charge you for just a bag of words. How old are you? Old enough to know better, lad, and too old to walk much. Let's just say my best years are behind me, and there's only a few irons that keep this heart beating. What irons? Oh, God. Well, lad, not to bring down the conversation, but I'm hoping that one day a holy fellow will be making his way to the old smoldering corpse bar, and hopefully he'll shrive me some of my private sins, so I can go on and step off this plane for good. What? Hopefully he'll shrive me of some of my private sins so I can go on and step off this plane for good. Is shrive like the past tense plural of shiv? I don't think I've ever seen that word before. Is he like hoping someone one day a holy fella? Wait, no, holy fella. Shrive me for some of my private sins. Is it? Yeah. Is that like a? Is that like a what's it called? Like an absolvement thing, like a religious thing. Shrive. I don't know. Okay. Well, I had some other questions. What is this place? You're in the Smoldering Corpse Bar, lad. Not a pretty place as some, but it's got a lot of homespun kind of charm. Or it's got its own homespun kind of charm. Tell me about the patrons here. Well, you got who claims to be a letter instead of a person. Some mercy killers waiting round for a criminal. Para Abishai on furlough from the Blood War. A Githzerai over there who's been watching you from afar. Not too unusual, mind you, they're peery cutters. And Alace down there, a clueless kid whose britches seem to be just a bit too tight, if you get my meaning. You're wanting some information on the plains? Talk to Kandrian Ilborn over here. He knows more than most I know. Who's the smoldering corpse? Him? Oh, no corpse, lad. No deader him. Near as we can tell, old Ignis is still alive inside that little roast spit. Near as we can tell, anyway. Near as we can figure, anyway. He wrinkles his nose. He can smell damnably awful sometimes, too. Keeps me on the pipe to make sure I don't worm its way into my nose, it does. He chuckles. Yeah, no, I think this is a slightly more comfortable voice for me to give him. It's like not hitting me right at the back of the throat. So I think I'll keep doing this. It's a little too, like, stereotypical, like, cowboy prospector, but oh well. How did he get there? Ebb takes a smoke from his pipe for a moment, as if deciding how to phrase his comment. Well, now, lad, Ignis had a smattering of problems, and some not slight wizardly magics to boot, and seldom do the two mix well, if you understand me. He liked to, well, he liked to burn things, and he started torching places and people and generally making a bunch of trouble. And? Well, now most of this was going on in the Hive. I'll be the first to admit that the Hive is not the first place the Harmonium goes to keep Sigel's law. Ebb looks a little shamefaced. A failing on our part, since it may be the place where our presence is most needed. So, by the lady's reckoning, there was a little street-side justice in the wizardly community. A bunch of tea-leaf raiders, hedge wizards, and midwife witches got together and managed to weave a spell that was kind of poetic justice. So now he sits there and burns. He's still alive, which I don't think they counted on. I had some other questions. Tell me of Sigil and its environs. Ebb laughs loudly. You don't think small, do you? If you want to know what's outside the city, go talk to Kandrian Ilborn over there. He's a traveler of this place. As for the rest of it, well, I can tell you of the lady, the Dabus, keys and portals, the way to keep track of time, the way the city's laid out. What was it you wanted to know? Let's go reverse order. Tell me of the keys and portals. Sigel's called the City of Doors for a reason, lad. There's portals everywhere. Portals are, well, like doors that lead across the multiverse, except they don't look like doors. Instead, they can be any bounded space. Window, door, pothole, picture frame, barrel loop, the spaces inside scaffolding, a wardrobe. Each could be a portal waiting for just the right key to open it and take you someplace in the multiverse. Now, keys... Right, yeah, so we sort of like... I kind of talked about this in one of the earlier episodes, and we met a lady who, in a much less coherent way than this, described pretty much the same thing. Go on. Each portal has a key, you need to open it. Now, while portals can be any bounded space, keys have more variety. They can be anything from a little tune you hum when you're next to the portal, to dancing a jig, to being in the right mood, having a piece of the place you want to go to in your hand, and on and on. In my youth, I once convinced a girl that kissing a man beside it could open a portal to Arcadia. Turned out I was right. And many trips to Arcadia did we have. Many portals have never been found. There's some you can uncover just by asking people and getting the right key. Finding out the dark of a portal is the toughest part. Oh yeah, the dark of the matter is like the truth or something, right? The slang in Sigil. But I warn you, lad, portal hopping shouldn't be a pastime for a feller in your way. Nor should you be wandering Sigil after dark, neither. You'd do best to stick to the main ways in Open Peak. And watch yourself. I had other questions about Sigil. Tell me about the city's layout. Ooh, let me wet my tongue. He takes a pull from his tankard, and I'll do the same. Okay. The city floats above an infinitely tall spire. The spire. It lies on its side in a discarded wagon wheel, but there's no spokes that connect it to the spire. It's divided into 6 wards, each of them with its own function. Right now, you're in the Hive. I think the purpose of the Hive is to be the squalor to the rest of the city's grandeur. Factions, philosophical clubs, or gangs, if you prefer, divide up the running of the city between them. Were you in a faction? Ebb raises his hand as if to stop you and laughs slightly. Oh, now hold on, lad. I'm no has-been faction member. They say, and they're right, that once you're one of the Harmonium, you're a Harmonium for life. We're the Bloods that try and make sure Sigil stays out of trouble. No rockin' the spire. No folks getting too over-enthusiastic about hurting each other. Keeping the city down to a low roar. We try and keep the peace, lad, and most times we do a decent job. Sigil's layout. Oh, wait. Oh, huh. Wait, what? Oh, I think it double-clicked by accident. Okay. I asked, Yeah, okay, I had some other questions about Sigil. What else did you want to know of the cage? Tell me of Sigil's time. The way we measure time in Sigil's by the moon, by the brightness of the sky. You see, we haven't got a sun and moon like most worlds. We just got this everlasting haze that brightens and darkens at regular cycles. What most folks call midnight, we call anti-peak. What they call noon, we call peak. See what it's See, it's based on the peak and anti-peak of the brightness. So when someone says about 5 hours past peak, that's what they mean. So that's what you meant when you said in open peak. You'd best stick to the main ways in open peak and watch yourself. Yeah. Okay. Had other questions about Sigil. Tell me the city's layout again. And then go on instead of were you in a faction. The city's called the Crossroads of the Blains, and the City of Doors, and the Cage. It's got portals to all creation, they say. And all manner of beasties come through here to trade, call kip, or hop from one place to another. Now that's just the quick version, lad. You'll have to experience the place for yourself. You mentioned something about portals? Right, yeah. City of Doors. Yeah, okay. Other questions about Sigil. Tell me of the Dabbas. Aye, those funny floating bloods that speak in symbols. Quite a piece of work, eh? The Dabbas are kind of the ladies' janitors and workmen, doing exactly what she wants. Make sure Sigil's running up to snuff, patching walls, tearing down old buildings, building new ones, setting up portals, sealing off others, and on and on. Oh, they can open and close portals. So there's a chance that that woman that's lost here is lost here forever. Like, genuinely, she has no way of getting home unless a Dabbas, like, reopens a portal to her home plane. If the old one has been closed permanently. Oh, man. They're a pretty neutral, fair-in bunch, and you don't want to interfere with one or kill one, or you'll bring the lady's wrath down on you right quick. They kind of remind me of, what are they called? Are they called watches or something in, Mass Effect? The, like, little scrubby alien robot things that sort of clean and look after the Citadel? Can't remember what they're called, but if you've played Mass Effect, you'll probably know what I mean. I feel like those were supposed to have, like, some bigger plot relevance, and they never really did. Anyway, tell me of the lady. Well, now, not many know much about her, lad, and I'm figuring even those that know more than a little don't know too much more. She's a mystery, she is, and even should you run across her, powers forbid, she's silent and deadly. She's not evil, far as I can tell, but she keeps the dark about herself and Sigil pretty tight. No one's been able to penetrate it, and if they have, they've been mazed. Mazed? What do you mean? Aye, sometimes bloods will be packed off to a place where they can't do no harm. The lady, see, she'll take a bit of Sigil and make a little dimensional pocket out of it, a maze. She places those that have crossed her in there and lets them rot. He puffs on his pipe. Now you can't escape getting mazed once the lady sets her gaze on you, lad. She'll let you go eventually, no matter how hard... Or she'll get you eventually, no matter how hard you try and dodge her. You'll be walking down an alley, or about to step through a portal, or take a left turn down a street you've gone too many fold times before, and suddenly you're someplace you don't recognize. Now, mazes aren't escape-proof. There's always a way out of each one. A portal the lady places there. You just have to figure out where it is and how to use it. The lady again? Go on. chances are you won't meet her unless you do something really bad. Hurting a lot of people, killing a Dabbus, challenging her, worshipping her. She hates that. We figure, or interfering with a Dabbus's work, which may as well be the lady's work. If you're lucky, just the mercy killers will come for you, but if she comes, you'll be dead as soon as her shadow falls on you. Please continue. Now the lady can do almost anything in Sigil, lad, near as we can figure. Make it bigger or smaller. Make new portals, seal off old ones. Make sure the blood war don't break out in the streets. Keep folks from teleporting to the city, keeping the powers out. Who are the powers? It's another way of saying gods, lad. And there's a great horde of them across the plains. Ebb takes a puff of his pipe. They can't come to Sigil, though. The lady has a way of keeping them out that she hasn't spilled and she hasn't spilled the chant yet. Be that as it may, it's kept Sigil from being seized by outside interests. Okay. Any other questions? I think there's a good chance this guy will be talking for another 20 minutes at least. Let me take another little drink. Okay. Actually, no, maybe not. Right? Tell me of Sigil and its environments. What other places can you recommend? Well, he puffs on his pipe and studies you. This place is perhaps the best kip you could have wandering in from the start. Judging by your tattoos, you might be partial to having designs on your body, in which case there's a tattoo salon a little spireward from here. You want to stay away from the alley of dangerous angles if you can. Ignis torched that place not long ago, and ever since a bunch of bad bloods have set up their kip in that stretch of desert. Do you know a name? I'm missing a journal. You're missing a journal? Was there more to the journal than just pages and words? Otherwise, I can't imagine too many bloods who would bother themselves with letters unless it was really hot and spicy. Not much use for books of learning round here. I don't know where you might find such a thing. He puffs on his pipe and then snaps his fingers. But you know, lad, if Farad is the one who scraped you off the Sigil street, then he might know the dark of where your stuff is. It's most likely in his larder, if you ask me. A dead man is usually in no position to keep his possessions when the collectors tumble across his body. Tell me about Farad. Well, now, I don't know everything there is to know about old Farad, but I know some of the dark surrounding him. If you're determined to track down that spider and nail him to a wall, then I suppose I could spill some of the chant so you know what you're tangling with. He pauses to tamp his pipe. Farad dug his nest into the ragpicker's square not too long ago. Got a bunch of collectors and gangs together and started what one could almost consider a collecting faction. A collecting faction. Yeah, not that he's collecting factions. Yeah. Be that as it may. Where can I find him? Well, lad, if you're looking for Farad, which I would say is pretty balmy of you, you're a little off the beaten path. You want to find Ragpicker's Square. Chant is that Farad set up his kip somewhere in the square. Even an old fellow like me, who's been around the ring a few times, don't know exactly where. I figure that Farad wants to keep the dark on his location dark. If you're all bound and determined to go find Farad, then go to Ragpicker's Square and try to dig up his location from some of the locals. Try and be careful about it, since there's plenty in that square that would make a gut harp out of you as soon as you look at you. Wait, there's plenty in the square that would make a gut harp out of you as soon as look at you. I feel like there's a they missing there, right? They would make a gut hop out of you as soon as they look at you. Yeah, okay. Got some other questions. Let's ask this again, just in case there is an extra bit of dialogue about Farad. Farad? Now, lad, what you wantin' with a burk like Farad? Okay, yeah, there is extra dialogue. Cool. I think I used to know him. Aye, well, the more's your misfortune, then. Mayhap forgetting things is better for you, then. What do you know of him? Right, yeah, that's the same. More questions. Farad. I think he stole some of my belongings. Oh, no doubt, lad, no doubt. He grumbles and chews on his pipe. You have to chain up everything round that grasping little spider. He should have been the one of the fated. The way anything... What? He should have been one of the fated, the way anything not chained down slips into his parlor. Don't give him a yard or he'll take a league, eh? What do you know about him? That's the same. Okay. What do you know about Farad? None of your business. What do you know of him? I don't know. Yeah, okay, that's the same. Okay. Right, okay. I guess only another 10 minutes of dialogue, not 20. Is that all the questions then? I think so, right? We asked who you are. We asked what a tout is. What makes you think I'm in trouble? Lad, no one has as many scars as you have who isn't in some sort of trouble, either from himself or from others. Ebb looks at you in a mock reproach. What do you take old Ebb for, blind? Look, I'm a little weathered around the edges, but I still got some sight and sense. Now what's dogging your heels to be causing such trouble? Mayhap I can help you, eh? A few troubles, that's all. Oh, now, well, I hope it wasn't nothing too serious now. But I'll leave that for yourself to say when you feel like talking about it. Don't mean to press the point, no. That'll get you in more trouble around here than anything else. Thanks, farewell. Also, I don't know what happened. I should mention, like, it's been a couple weeks since I last recorded, and I had to reinstall Windows whilst in the in-between times. And for some reason, my cursor was, like, bugged and missing when I, like, started playing Planescape again today. And my save files were missing as well, which was pretty scary for a second until I remembered that I'd done a backup. Yeah, for some reason, after I fixed the cursor missing bug, now the cursor is enormous. This is huge. I don't know why, but oh well, it is what it is. Alright, let's speak with Kandrian. You see a soft-looking man with gentle, far-staring eyes. He dresses in supple leather clothing and carries various implements of use and destruction about his body, such as ropes, spikes, tinderboxes, and empty vials of air. He looks half gone, literally. There's an insubstantiality to his existence, as if his essence had been partially leached away. He focuses those eyes on you and suddenly finds them gripping and determined. I don't want to do another painful voice, so let's just go with... Greetings to you, O Seeker. Greetings. He carefully sets down the mug he's holding and gives you all of his attention. I have seen the far reaches of the multiverse. and returned to tell the tale. I have walked upon the bodies of dead gods and spun moonbeams in the astral ahead of 1,000 shrieking Githyanki knights. I have passed the edges of existence and watched my essence shiver away before me. What can I do for you? I had some questions. Perhaps I have answers for you. Speak, and I shall tell you. I met a woman named Ingress with very bad teeth. She said she'd come through a portal from some world that is opened by a tune hummed near 2 crossed trees. Can you get her home? He pauses briefly, thinking. I know of the portal of which you speak, though I have not travelled it these 30 years gone. I will take her home, Seeker. Go tell her to await my arrival, then meet me back here and I will tell you if I was successful or not. Thanks, I had some other questions.
Updated my journal.
Okay, yeah, that was easy, that was cool. Who are you? I've come out of nowhere with this really deep request. They haven't even passed names. I am Kandrian Illborn, traveller, dreamer, tale spinner, and so forth. You're a traveller? Tell me of the plains. I am tired, Seeker. So tired. I'm fresh back from negation. I will answer what I can for you, but I cannot promise that I will find satisfaction, that you will find satisfaction in the answers I give. What would you know? Would you hear of the outer planes, the prime material, or the inner planes? Fresh back from negation? What do you mean? His eyes cloud over. I went to the inner planes to discover my true essence. I made the mistake of visiting the negative material plane in order to understand my body's urge to decay and the cycle of life in death. I thought myself protected against the ill effects of the plane with my magic, but I was wrong. The blackness of infinite nothing pressed on my soul, and I was beset by shadows that sought to snuff out my soul. I was lost for a long time, for an eternity, and nearly lost my existence. I could feel my essence falling away from me, and even now I am half gone. I will never return. How did you survive?
Updated my journal.
How did I survive? He smiles tightly. With a piece of nothing that held back the nothing. Nothing can stop nothing, you know. And so I carried nothing in my hand to protect me. Do you plan to journey to the ultimate negation yourself? You have the smell of desperation about you, and so I make you this gift. Hold it in your hand when the shadows press in, and it should protect you and your friends somewhat, should they remain close to you. He passes you a small black token that looks as if it has no dimensionality to it at all. Huh. Wow, thanks a lot. That's awesome. Tell me more of the planes. You would know of the planes. Which ones? What's the difference? The difference is true essence, Seeker. The inner planes are matter, substance, true physicality. They are the building blocks of the multiverse, for it is from them that all belief in the elements springs. The inner planes filter through the ethereal plane, the plane of potential, some say, which forms the elements into the worlds of mortals. Once past the ethereal plane, one reaches the prime material, where exists all manner of mortals and monsters, and myths and machines. It is there that belief is born, and there that the spirits that create the outer planes are born. When mortals die, they pass through the astral plane, a no place that is thought and mental energy itself. It is in all things and in none. It is a paradox, among other things. and it filters spirits into the great ring. Do you comprehend so far? Yes, go on. Now, the outer planes. Where should I start? Do you know of the cardinal rules of the planes on which all others are based? Do you know about the composition of the outer planes? Do you know of the great ring and its division in our hearts? Do you know of the individual planes, each of these leading to the next? And so it is best to start from the beginning. Oh my goodness, okay. Tell me of the composition of the planes. The outer planes are created of and by belief through thought and faith. They take their imagined form from the prime material plane, shaped into forms that stagger the imagination, built by the accumulation of belief. Belief creates the planes. Belief is power here. Change belief, and you can change the nature of reality. The creatures that are born here, the plane-born, like the fiends and celestials, are truly born of the thoughts and concepts of mortals. They each express some sort of ideal, and the more powerful the ideal, the more powerful the being. Thus, the being that symbolizes love is one of the strongest of all. Go on. That is why the powers, gods, some call them, live out here. This is where all the faith in them comes. This is where they are at their most pure and most strong. Their realms are extensions of their very being, manifestations of their godly essence, all of it informed by belief. So the composition of the planes is belief. Tell me of the great ring now? Among the loose unity of planeswalkers, we conceive of the infinite outer planes as a ring surrounding the plane of ultimate neutrality, the Outlands, the spire atop which Sigil sits in the center of the Outlands. The further one travels away from the spire, the less neutral the plane grows, until it spills into the neighboring planes. Each of these planes impinges on the Outlands, spinning themselves into law and chaos, good and evil. The great road marks the demarcation between the Outlands and the gate towns that spring up around the gates to these planes. Beyond the gate towns lie the hinterlands, uncharted territory that is lost to history, that loses thought. Danger lies in the hinterlands. Go on. The outer planes differ by morality, not substance. For you, we'll divide the planes into 3 sets. The upper planes of good, the lower planes of evil, and the boundary planes of neutrality. These are then divided further by law and chaos. Oh my goodness. Which of these interests you? The upper planes. Of the upper planes, there are the neutral planes, the lawful, chaotic, and the neutral, the lawful, and chaotic planes. Which would you know? Oh my goodness, this is so... There's so many, like, indentations to this conversation. The neutral planes. The neutral planes contain the Beastlands, a place of neutrality and goodness, with a slight tinge of chaos, where the animals rule in the eternal noon and night. They hold Bitopia, twin paradise of industry and labor, where all work towards the good of all, and Elysium, the sweetest plane of goodness and calm I have ever come across. Alas, right now I am not well enough to enjoy any of their restorative effects. What would you hear of now? Tell me of the rest of the upper planes. The lawful planes. Kandrian gives a small shudder. I'm not the best person to speak of the planes of law, for the innate structure of the ultimate patterns they impose frightens me. I steer clear of them because I value my individuality more than I value the knowledge they'll bring me. They include regimented Arcadia, nearest of the good plains to the unbending order of Mechanus, Mount Celestia, home of the Archons, an island in the Silver Sea. Tell me of the chaotic planes. These are where I feel at home the most, though I steer clear of Eastgard for the most part. The endless battles and tests of metal among the floating earthbergs of that plane don't do much for my disposition. Arborea, though. The mountains are taller, the air clearer, the rivers purer, and the game larger than anywhere else. It is a true paradise, a place where passions run high and wine never ceases to flow. When I have recovered enough of my wits and myself, when we have done with the outer planes, you should ask me of the inner, and I will describe my journey to you. I will return to Arborea's bowers and glades and lose myself for a time. Let's go back a step. No, tell me more of the plains of the Great Ring. Fuck me. There's so much. Okay, this guy might end up talking for longer than Creeknees. Tell me of the lower plains. Like the upper plains, the lower plains are divided. Neutral plains. The neutral plains, eh? They're vile and barely understandable. They're more insidious on their own than you could ever imagine. Take Gehenna, for example. 4 volcanoes in stages of dormancy, floating in an infinite void, each of them somehow alive, and each of them wanting your soul by whatever means they can get it. Populated with Ugoloths, the worst of the fiends in my opinion, and you've got the place. The plane of ultimate evil, at least, that's what they call it, is the Grey Waste. Oh, I think this is a separate... Yeah, okay. There should be a new paragraph here. Carriage return. The plane of ultimate evil, at least that's what they call it, is the Grey Waste. A place that drains color from your body and spirit, stealing away even your apathy. And it is the site of the worst battlegrounds in the war down there. Don't get me started. Then you've got Carcerai. Carceri. Yeah. Or Sarcery on the chaotic side. Tell me about the war. Aye, the blood war. At the name, your blood feels as if it freezes in your veins. Ilborn doesn't seem to notice, wrapped up as he is in his memories. 2 armies of fiends smashing together pointlessly across the lower plains, slaughtering mindlessly in the name of law and chaos. They'll aggrandize it, of course, but in the end it's about hate and stupid endeavor that aids none and harms far too many. Tell me about Carcerai. Carcerai. It is a poisonous jungle, acid swamp. Carcerai and its poisonous jungles, acid swamps, destructive waters, strung like a string of rotten pearls nestled within one another. He pauses and looks at you carefully, again fixing you in place with his eyes. Remember this, Seeker. Carcerai is a prison. Okay, it probably is pronounced Carcerai then, because it's like incarceration or something. Home of the Gereleths. Yeah. Gereleths, one of the most dangerous types of fiend there is. The strength of the prison is the strength of the captor, as strong as the prisoner lets be. Destroy the prison seeker and a body can escape the red prison. There's almost no other way out. Not when the gates close themselves against you and watch you spin off into the vast space surrounding the orbs. Be wary of Carcerai, traveler, for its bonds can be greater than flesh. So, I don't think I realized this before. He's referring to neutral monsters, I guess, like the faith or emotion or belief bound monsters as fiends. So it's not just evil, like fiends aren't just evil, they're also neutral, which makes me feel like the sort of angels or archons or like the good aligned creatures of faith and belief are also probably fiends. But I don't know, yeah. Yeah. I think previously I thought that there was, you know, the good and the good ones and the evil ones are the, you know, fiends versus angels or something. I hadn't really clocked that there were neutral ones, and he calls them fiends too, so yeah, maybe angels are also fiends. That would kind of make sense. In a sort of like, you know, cladographic sense, I guess. Sort of categorical sense. I don't know. I'm sure if you called an angel a fiend, it would kill you instantly, but yeah. Let's see. Tell me about the war. Tell me about the rest of the lower planes.
Updated my journal.
Like the upper planes, the lower planes are divided into lawful and chaotic and neutral. Each of them varies in terms of the horrors and what those horrors do to a traveler's spirit, and all of them are best avoided. Which of them would you like to hear of? I don't know why, like the way that it's divided this is like slightly confusing to me. I think I would have preferred to learn about it the other way so that I could do like all of the chaotic planes at once and then all of the lawful and all of the neutral. Maybe, I don't know. Because, yeah, so now we're on to the lower planes. So these are all evil, right? I think. The neutral planes, there's also more than, there's more of them than I thought, right? Like, I thought it was going to be one per alignment. There's actually multiple per alignment, which is, I guess, shouldn't be, oh wait, yeah, okay, we've got this one. Wait, tell me of the rest of the lower planes. Oh, no, wait, yeah, okay, hang on. Boundary planes, right. Okay, yeah, so these are the neutral ones. So, like... Oh, fuck, okay, maybe I'm wrong about the fiends thing, then. I don't know. It's actually quite difficult to, like, piece this conversation together mentally. There's a lot of information being dumped here right now. I think there is a map of what he's describing, and I wouldn't surprise me at all if when this game was released on disc that it came with a map of the planes. But yeah. Right. There are two boundary planes to my mind, and they are diametrically opposed. One of them, Mechanus, is the very essence of law, a place where beliefs fit together, interlocking, turning in a massive machine that is the entire plane. Some folks have it that the gears of Mechanus are the engines that drive the planes. The other plane is Limbo, a swirling morass of chaos that follows no rules. None. And just when a body thinks he's classified its behavior, it goes and changes on him. Or it doesn't. You just can't tell. I was in limbo not too long ago. Tell me of your journey. He closes his eyes, remembering. I had a Githzerai guide with me, an anarch who could shape the illogical matter of the plane into forms of his desire. We had fought off the harrying of the Sladi, the chaos creatures who call that plane home, and it seemed that there were more than usual, but then one could never tell what usual is in limbo. But I digress. In the midst of all this chaos, we came across a series of huge metal interlocking cubes, like some sort of puzzle box. It wasn't something we had shaped, consciously or not, and we couldn't find a way inside. It was like a bastion of order within the confines of disorder, a seed of law. That is the best I can explain it. Tell me more of the
journal.
Tell me more of the Plains of the Great Ring. The Outlands. The Outlands are absolute neutrality. I mean, I guess that basically means the Outlands are the true neutral, right? So we've described, if we plot it out on the 3x3 grid, we've done all of the good ones, we did all of the evil ones, and then we did the 2 neutral ones, but the 3rd neutral one is technically the Outlands, I feel like, right? Probably the best place for a body to visit in the Outer Plains. Outside of Sigil, if you don't want to have a plane's morality forced into your heart, everything balances out in the Outlands, as it should be for a plane that sits at the center of the Outer Plains. I mean, I feel like that is... Yeah, I feel like that's a recursive definition, right? Like, it's not that the Outlands is this way because... Or no, it's not that the Outlands is in this position because it's a... Wait, what am I trying to say? Yeah, no, it is at the center of the Outer Plains because it's true neutral, and it's true neutral because it's at the center of the outer planes, it's a recursive definition. Power's realms are scattered around here, and there are handfuls of gate towns that open up to the rest of the Outer Plains. The gate towns usually mirror the philosophy of the plane that their gate opens onto, and if the balance of belief isn't kept in the town slips into a nearby plane. It's a bad situation for everyone, because few of the folks in the towns really want that change. But enough of the Outlands. What more would you like to know? Let's go back a few steps to the overview. You would know more of the plains? Hang on, how many steps deep are we, right? Because we can go through all of that again for the inner planes and for the prime material. So let's back off to other questions. We can still ask. Ooh, okay. Oh shit, how did we actually get there? Who are you? Tell me of the planes. Okay. Because we're coming up on an hour, and I actually have to go. So let's say none, farewell, and have a little savey save. New save, episode, what is this, 12, I think? And yeah, when next we return, we will keep talking to this guy about... We'll keep getting an info dump from Kandrian, and then we'll finally, hopefully, speak to Dakon, and then go look for Farad. Yeah, this is gonna be like a 100 episode long playthrough at least, isn't it? Ah well. Thanks for watching. Love and peace.